afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Mbuli.
And I'm Jeannie D. Today we have such an amazing show because we're going to be chatting to women who've overcome great ordeals to get to where they are today.
Yeah, we also, first up, we speak to a woman called Aida Mohammadi, who, at the age of 15, was forced into a marriage, finally made her way out of it and made her way to South Africa, where she presently practices as a psychic. Should make for a very fascinating interview.
Oh, that's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
We're also going to be chatting to Lucinda Evans, who's an anti-abuse activist who runs a shelter for women in Lavender Hill in Cape Town. From there, we're going to be chatting to another extraordinary woman. She is a global adventurer, and she's here to share a story with us about terrible attack that happened in Paris. Her name is Claire McFarlane, and she's in the loft as well today. And we've also got an amazing woman in the kitchen, and it's not Danilo.
Wow, all right, South Africa, welcome to the show. My name is Danilo Acristo, and a warm welcome to Afternoon Express. Today in the kitchen, as Jeannie did say, we've got a special guest. Chiara Turilli is joining us in the loft. She's not actually a formalized chef, but you really have made a thing for yourself in the cupcake industry. She sells cupcakes on Instagram. Never mind a business, never mind internet, never mind in a store. She sells cupcakes purely from an Instagram page. And today we're making one of your secret cupcakes.
Yes.
What is it?
Raspberry cheesecake cupcakes.
Oh, it sounds so delicious. We'll show you how to make this recipe. Get all the ingredients and the shopping list from our website. It's afternoonexpress.co.za. You can find, like I said, the ingredients there, as well as how to put the whole thing together. And I'm telling you, this is one of your ones you've made with like a white, you call it the vanilla base.
Yes.
That's your own recipe.
Yes, it's tried and tested.
Okay, so none of your friends will ever be able to make a box cupcake like we've made these cupcakes right here on Afternoon Express. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm really much looking forward to it. And go check out the photos on our Instagram page, Facebook, as well as on Twitter. And keep interacting with us on Afternoon Express. Let's kick off the show on the couch.
As mentioned earlier, today we're dealing with a sensitive subject. So parents, please be advised. Now, our first guest was born in the Middle Eastern country of Iran. At the age of only 15, she was forced into a marriage with a much older man, and she had 3 children before the age of 20. After years of oppression, she managed to get out of Iran and made her way to South Africa, where today she practices as a clairvoyant and an energy healer. Joining us is Aida Mohammadi. Welcome to the loft, Aida.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, what a remarkable story of courage. Let's start at the beginning. So you're forced into this marriage at 15 to an older man. How did it come about?
Well, it was a part of a culture which, as you grow older, as you grow as a child, you feel as this is the norm. This is how it is. You don't see any different and you don't know any different. Right. Obviously, family to family differs, and some family educated and highly traveled or whatever, they don't practice the same. And yet still in some family members that still do, even at this age, that is practiced. Right. So child marriage pretty much was and is still in practice.
Wow, wow. Okay, so at this stage, you were promised that your husband would take you to school, would take you back to school.
There was agreement for him to allow me to further study.
And this didn't happen?
No.
And how did you eventually find a way to study?
Well, I was so willful, and I think I was a very strong woman, even if I was a child, and I had that dream in my mind, even then, that this is not it. There is more than it. There is more than this, and I'm not going to allow that. It wasn't depending on others, and it was depending on me. And somehow, and I always say, it is the spirit inside you that, even as a child, is there. You either have that spirit with you or not. And that spirit within me was whispering. And my gift in me was opening the window that was saying there are possibilities.
Wow. And then by the age of 20, you had 3 children.
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
Sometimes when I look back, I can't remember it really, because I was a child. And I remember as experience as a mother being so young, at times I would take my kids to the doctors and they were saying, where is the mother? And I'm the mother.
And you were the mother.
And the doctor wouldn't believe it. Like,
so you were a child having children?
Yes,
essentially.
Exactly. So I was a child and then I was an adult suddenly. There was no teenage years for me. There was no adolescence time for me. I didn't have that experience. I can't relate. Or when I look at the kids that they are 15, 16, 17, here, and even in their 20s, and I see them wild, and they're going and they experiencing and expressing themselves in life, and so carefree. I just think, I didn't have that. I never experienced that. I was a child, and I was adult.
Right. And then when was that pivotal moment when you realized, okay, I'm in an oppressive and abusive marriage and I need to get out?
At the age of 16.
And what distinctly stood out for you? What was it that you were feeling inside that let you know I need to get out of here?
I wanted to study. I wanted to grow. I wanted to be me. I knew that as a human being, I have rights. And as a woman and as a strong woman, I definitely and certainly have the right to choose.
Wow.
I am not sitting there and allowing others to tell me, okay, now I want another child and you need to have it.
Right.
And because I was very young and I didn't have support, emotional or any financial, emotional or family support around the idea, everybody was against it. Like, no, you are married now, and this is what you need to do. And divorce was a shame, you know, in my family.
Yeah. And where did you find the courage to stick to those convictions, especially because your environment wasn't encouraging your thinking process?
No, it was very difficult, and yet I knew it was there for me as clear as a day and night.
Wow.
I was, from the beginning, as you know, I'm a psychic.
Yes.
It was not something I was practicing. I was very academic, and I studied further against all those wishes, which we get there probably.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is my gifts were telling me, the voice behind was saying to me, this is not
where you need to go. This is not,
Seek your authentic self.
Wow.
And that was it.
So how did you eventually make it out of Iran to South Africa?
I was a translator, interpreter after my divorce, and with the help of a group of foreigners, actually, that they opened the doors for me to get to South Africa. I always say, a strong woman, a strong man, a strong people, it doesn't matter. We don't make it alone. There are always help.
Yes.
And we need to acknowledge those
Yes.
helps that is arrived from very, very unexpected places or unexpected experiences or people, that people come and merge up, they meant to, in a
Yes.
bigger picture of this destiny, what world would you call it, they come in to aid us. And we need to be aware, and the awareness is the key to take that moment and to grasp the opportunity and act upon it, the moment that is there, not allowing it to pass by, not allowing ourselves to fall victim.
Wow.
If we fall victim, we lose awareness. If we lose awareness, we live in a very mundane, we don't live, we exist. So life passes us. But if we are aware and we are living every moment with awareness, we don't miss opportunities. We don't miss those beauties.
Yeah.
And when it comes, we'll see it. So they helped me, and I got out of Iran to South Africa. Very challenging, but finally I was out of there, leaving my 3 children behind.
You left your children behind?
Yes.
And when did you eventually see them again?
6 years later. 6 years later, which I didn't even have a photograph of them. So I had no idea how they look even. And I was totally cut off by family because they were not supportive of my decision. It was against, it was shameful to them. So no matter how many times I asked, nobody sent me a photo. You can imagine after 6 years when I went back to Iran to finally bring my daughter out of South Africa, which was my dream. And I was just thinking, this is not going to happen to her.
And you've now reunited and you've mended those bridges with your children?
16 years later, the 3 got together.
Wow, that's
3
incredible.
of my children and me got together.
You're now a practicing psychic and a clairvoyant. What does that actually mean? And how do you actually help people through this?
Psychic and clairvoyancy is the extrasensory perception, actually. The clairaudience, clairvoyance, it means that you can clearly see beyond what others can't. You can clearly hear beyond what others can't hear. So there is the extrasensory perception which we have, and I had it since childhood, which I actually take it as a wonderful gift now. Sometimes I was thinking this is a curse and I don't want it, but now I know. As I grow older, I realize this is a wonderful gift and I cannot live without it.
Wow.
When I lose it, it feels like I have lost the limb and I can't function.
Wow. What is your hope for women still living in Iran who are living under that kind of oppression and they just want to get out? In fact, women all over the world, because that's a phenomenon worldwide.
Absolutely. That is a very great question, because women all around the world facing the same type of problems and challenges. They might be living in a very Western world, and yet they go through the same experience, very hidden, because the country that they live in is a country of liberation, women's rights, and all of that is seemingly is at practice. But yet, under the surface, there are still women that has been abused. Under the child marriage is still being practiced, and so on and so on. So my message is, that's what you asked. My message for those women or for those girls, that they are, I always say, you have a voice, and you have a certain gift of individuality and uniqueness within the self. We all are a gift, and we can practice and we can be ourselves. That's what I would say, and never give up.
Yes.
The hope and the vision needs to be clear of who you are, and once you are truthful to your authentic self, things will happen. Once you are in the flow and surrendering to the flow of universe, allowing things to be and not fighting it in a way of knowing, okay, this is my destiny and I'm going with it. Open, the way is open.
Wow, thank you so much, Aida. What an incredible message.
Thank you.
So after the break, we're making the perfect tea time treat, raspberry cheesecake cupcakes. And we chat to Lucinda Evans, who works with abused women in Lavender Hill, Cape Town. Also, today we're taking your calls on 083 913 3728. If you have any questions for our guests or comments, please do share. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, I can tell you that your day is about to be made because, as you know, Winner Homes, South Africa's favorite interior design reality TV show, is back and has teamed up with Afternoon Express. To get closer to the action and get a taste of the grand prize, visit the Winner Homes stand at Decorex Cape Town from 29 April to 2 May this year. There you can meet the 3 contestants before they've officially been announced on TV. You can experience a taste of the beautiful high design that you can look forward to on Winner Home, and you might even get to meet me because I'll be there. Today we're also going to be giving away double tickets to Decorex Cape Town. To enter, SMS the keyword Express, your name and city to 33728. Those SMSs will cost you R1.50, and those T's and C's do apply and can be found on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. We very much are looking forward to seeing you there if you can make it. On to some also exciting stuff in our kitchen. Today we're making something so delicious. Chiara Turilli is making us one of her signature cupcakes. This girl sells cupcakes on Instagram. So you take beautiful photos of cupcakes, and she's made her own little recipe that she's got for us today on the show. You're going to get a sneak peek into that exclusive recipe.
Okay.
Let's go.
So we're going to start off, we're going to make a basic vanilla sponge. Okay. This is my everything because I was always a little kid at the birthday parties going, I want to eat that cake.
I know, but the thing about vanilla sponge, I always find it quite dry. So I hope you've made a different one that's slightly little...
Of course. The secret to making it moist is butter, not oil.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to put flour. We're going to put our sugar.
I see you using Salati caster snow. Is that just because obviously it dissolves quite nicely in the mixture and... Awesome. It's so diverse and versatile.
And it's extra fine as well, so you don't have those clumps of sugar in it.
Lekker.
Baking powder.
Yes.
And then we're going to put melted butter. There we go. Make it nice and moist.
You can just do that in the microwave, everybody, obviously.
And water.
Okay. Cold water.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm. So you want everything to be room temperature as it goes.
Yes. So we're just going to mix that through with the whisk. We want this to be super smooth. No lumps. Lumps
super
are the
smooth,
devil.
like me, right?
Exactly.
In the kitchen, Dan the man, so smooth. There's a girl in the loft. It always happens that way.
Okay, so we're just going to mix that. You can put the vanilla in for me, please.
Oh, vanilla, sorry. All of this vanilla essence.
Yes.
Is this essence or vanilla extract?
Extract only. Thank you.
And the big difference between vanilla extract and vanilla essence is?
The vanilla essence is just a watered-down version of the flavour, and the vanilla extract actually comes from the vanilla bean.
We do not do watered down in this Afternoon Express loft. We do the best of the best.
Okay, so after that's mixed in, you can put the egg yolks in for me.
Okay, these are the egg yolks,
yes.
which you've obviously separated. You've got 4 in here that you've separated.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks for separating them before, because I think I would have messed that up and then it would have been terrible on live television.
Yeah, and I'm very much of a perfectionist, so I would have been very upset with you.
Also makes a good cupcake, I suppose. Don't get lazy with them.
Definitely not. I learned to be patient with cupcakes.
Good. You're going to have to be with me in the kitchen. All right, so that's the kind of basics of a generic base, but you've added different ingredients to help make it more moist, and you've worked in this for so long.
Yes.
That's why people love your cupcakes so much.
Okay, so next what we're going to do is you can pass me the egg whites over there. Just whip
this is egg whites?
Yes.
How did you get your egg whites looking like this?
This is soft peak stage. So we're just going to whip them up in a mixer.
Oh, I see.
And then this part is quite important. So
I'll hold it for you.
Yes, well, are you okay to hold it?
I'm okay.
We're going to mix in a third to start off. just to get the batter nice and loose.
Ooh.
Just gonna turn that round as we go.
What's you said you? Sorry, maybe I missed you. But talking about why you're folding it in as opposed to just sort of mixing it in.
So this is basically like a chiffon method. So we want it to be nice and light and fluffy. So you've got the butter in there to make it moist and the egg whites to make it fluffy.
That sounds very fancy.
It is.
You're making fancy cupcakes on the show today. Cool.
So then we're just going to add the rest like that.
Yum, yum, yum.
Thank you so much.
Cool, it's a pleasure.
So we're going to fold that in. You don't need to be too light. You just need to make sure that it's got some air in it.
Yes, because that obviously keeps it nice and fluffy and keeps it light. So when you eat it, it's not like eating a rusk.
Exactly.
It would be terrible to have rusky cupcakes.
No, that would be horrible. You can bring
Omar
the pan.
might love you, but yeah. What else do you need?
The pan, please.
Cool.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use an ice cream scoop. The reason why I use this is the measurement is perfect. And it's so beautiful for not making a messy cupcake.
Exactly, and it also helps you portion them out. So if one day you're hoping to make like enough, it's the worst thing. Like if somebody who's OCD to go and have a cupcake tray that fits a certain number in there, you've got all your little insides in, and then you're trying to scoop it all out, and then you're like drizzling the last little bits, trying to really make sure that that last one gets some of the batter inside. So
exactly.
This is a really great method. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, so you're just going to get these in here like that.
I love this. It also keeps it nice and neat. You don't have the drizzles all over everything else.
Exactly. Except that tiny bit there. There we go, gone.
Chiara, where are you from, by the way? Because you've got obviously an Italian name, an Italian surname. Where from Italy are you?
Well, I live here. I'm from here. My grandfather was from a place called Rieti, which is 1.5 hours from Rome.
Oh.
So.
And did anyone in your family teach you these cupcake recipes?
This is actually from my great-granny's recipe. So we started off making, obviously it had oil in, and we started mixing it up and deciding what we're going to do with it to make it lighter and better.
Okay, cool. I want to move this over here for you
Thank
so we can see that side. Okay, then what's next is the secret part. This, I need you guys to be quiet about. Don't tell your friends, don't tell your family. Just get it from the website. This is the part that you're going to want to watch. Okay, cool. Show us.
Okay, so this is called the hidden center part.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do is this is our cheesecake mixture. Ooh, okay. So this has got flour, sugar, vanilla, and cream cheese. Okay. So what you're going to do, you're just going to take 2 spoons. Okay. You want it to be, it's going to sit in the center, Danilo, in the center. Okay.
Which one's a big spoon, which one's a small spoon?
No, they're both babies.
No one, she didn't get my joke, everybody. South Africa, she doesn't understand my humor.
Okay, so that, you're going to start doing that.
Cool.
And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to put the raspberry jam on top of the cheesecake mixture.
I'm going to put a little bit, a lot, because I kind of like this stuff.
You go for it.
It looks so good. Bigger spoon. So this is going to create that sort of like tart, yummy, when you bite into that cupcake, all of that's just going to mush. I can't even use the right words. What is it going to do? It's going to like burst with flavor in your mouth.
Exactly. It's like super lashes.
Yummy.
As you bite into that cupcake.
Super what?
Lashes.
What's that?
That's my favorite word.
Lashes?
Lashes.
Please educate us.
Lashes is when things are deliciously gooey and ooey and so yummy.
Good word. So then after this is obviously done like that, you've got to put these into the oven for how long and at what heat?
180 for 15 minutes.
Okay, so that's very, very simple. We'll pop these into the oven. We'll take them out later and show you how to make the delicious toppings for these incredible, incredible cupcakes. You can find the recipe and the shopping list from our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. But don't tell your friends and family. Back to the couch.
Thanks, Danilo. Now, our next guest is committed to protecting and empowering abused women, children and the elderly, which is the driving force behind her non-profit organisation, Philisa Abafazi Betu, the causa term for Heal Our Women, which she founded in 2008 in the Cape Town suburb of Lavender Hill. She runs the organisation from her home, which provides a number of support programmes ranging from skills development workshops to trauma support groups and after-school care. She was even nominated for National Woman of the Year in 2013. Joining us in the loft is Lucinda Evans. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, when you hear the name Lavender Hill, it sounds like such an amazing neighbourhood, but it is notorious with violence and gangsterism. I want you to paint a picture for me. What is life like in Lavender Hill?
Our life in the community is very challenged, and as you say, when the first impression when people hear Lavender Hill, they think it's quiet, they think it's tranquil, but we don't see lavender and we don't smell lavender. And so one of the objectives of Philisa Abafazi is to bring lavender back to the hills. What we see sometimes, most times, is violence. When people in Cape Town speak about Lavender Hill, they say, don't go there, it's dangerous, you're going to die. But there are good people in Lavender Hill, and people that are trying, as myself and many others, just to uplift the community.
Do you permanently feel under threat?
Sometimes. sometimes as activists, yes, we feel under threat because violence against women in the arena that I work with is one of it's a high crime, but it's underreported. When people speak about Lavender Hill, they speak about gangs and drugs and guns, but they don't speak about the issue, which is violence against women. And violence against women is a crime that is very much underreported. Nobody really speaks about it, and it's not being seen as a priority in the area.
So you had been a social worker before, and then 8 years ago, something happened that made you decide, you know, you are needed in this community, and that's when you formed your organisation. What happened? What was that moment?
I'm not a social worker.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a teacher by profession, and I've worked in the formal sector where I decided to leave. And on the day when I left, I actually witnessed domestic violence. And there was a crowd of people standing around this couple. This man was beating and kicking this woman, and
just in the road, in front of everybody.
In front of everyone, no one was intervening. And I was so angry that I knocked him with the mirror of my car intentionally. I wasn't going to kill him. And when I stopped and I asked him, "What are you doing?" she jumped up and she said, "It's none of your business." And I told her, well, today I'm making it my business. I took my jersey off because she was bleeding from the face. And I turned to him and I said, "What if this was your mother? What if this was your sister? Would you have wanted somebody to do this? Is this the way how we deal with issues?" And when I arrived home, my husband opened the garage and I just stood in the garage and I said, "You know what, I'm going to start something. I'm going to bring lavender back to the hills," which I didn't even know what I was saying that time in the garage. And up until today, we are quite a small organization, but we do quite a lot of work in the protection of women and children.
Yeah. It's such a sad reality that so many abused women actually don't or turn away help when it's offered to them. But is it true that a lot more women report abuse and rape to Abafazi instead of the police?
Yes, we do have the situations where women are comfortable coming to the organization to report these crimes, for us to get to be the mediator between themselves and the police.
Yeah.
Sadly so, many women have had experiences where they have reported violence at the authorities, and some of the services was not available for the women, or the services just didn't happen. So one of the things that we've done with our advocacy program is that women are comfortable to come and report to us.
Yeah.
We then speak to our partners, which is the police, the hospitals, to get the necessary services going. And then if women need to be housed in an emergency situation, we are even able to provide that service.
Amazing.
Until we can refer her to the other services, which is longer-term sheltering.
Because you don't work as a consistent safe house, you work as an emergency safe house.
Yeah, our resources doesn't allow us to provide a more longer service.
Yeah.
So what happened in the past, about 4 years ago, was that I put up a Wendy house behind my house, because there were times when the police had their hands in their hair. About 5 years ago, the surrounding stations didn't even know what to do with women that came for help, and then opted to let them sleep.
Women and children.
Yes, let them sleep in the holding cell until the next day. So there was this huge gap of services that was needed, and I thought, okay, spoke to my husband, we put a Wendy house and 2 double bunks. And there were times when we were full to capacity, women in my children's room, women in my son's room, and we would all 4 scrunch up on my bed. And about 3 years ago, we had an opportunity then to rent a space in another community where we now have a 12-bed facility. It's been run by volunteers. It's a 24-hour service. And we are very busy.
Yeah,
and that is the avenue that we are providing for our partners, which is the police and the hospitals, for women and children, which is in dire need of care and protection.
Now, what happens to these women after that? What kind of programs, I suppose, do you offer thereafter?
At this point in time, because we are a non-funded and non-supported emergency shelter, we cannot provide any programs except the emergency care and protection. So maximum stay is 5 days, depending on the severity of the injuries, that we would help women with their children and nurse them back so that they are well enough to be referred over to the Department of Social Development. Sometimes it's a 24-hour service where we are able to provide women with a meal, a bed, 3 sets of clothes, including underwear, including toiletries, and then refer them over to Department of Social Development that will take it further.
You are an outstanding woman. It's definitely no wonder that you were also offered the French Legion of Honor. But we're going to get to that a little bit later, because I also want other people to get involved and try and help your organisation as much as possible. Thank you so much for chatting to us. After the break, we're joined by South African-born adventurer Claire McFarlane, whose life changed dramatically after a horrific event in 1999. Also, today we are taking your calls, 083 913 3728. If you have any questions or comments for our guests, we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, live on SABC3. Claire McFarlane was born in Joburg, and at the age of 16, her family moved to Brisbane in Australia, where she thrived in school and at sports. In grade 11, she was selected to compete in the Australian National Championships, and after high school, Claire began university studies with a vision to become a forensic doctor. Just 6 months into the degree, though, she left her studies and took up the offer from a friend to live in Paris for a year, and it was there that in July 1999, her life changed forever. Joining us in the loft to share her story is Claire McFarlane. Welcome to the loft, Claire.
Hi, thank you.
Lovely to have you. So, Claire, you grew up in Joburg, and suddenly at the age of 16, you moved to Australia, and your parents said, hey, pack up, we're moving to another continent. How did that feel?
It was quite daunting, actually. I thought, gosh, because I was in, just finished grade 9. So, you know, you're sort of anchored in your high school years.
Yeah, and it's like prelims, and you're about to end your high school career.
And I went across and I went to a girls' school. I'd been co-ed back in South Africa, so I was terrified.
Wow.
But the transition work, you know, was amazing. They loved the idea of a South African in their school, because they get a lot of Asian students, but not South Africans.
Yes.
So everyone wanted to hear my accent and hear me say "ya" and all of this. So it ended up being fabulous.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
And what did you do in Paris? So this is before Paris.
This is before Paris,
We're still in Australia now. I'm like jumping ahead because I can't wait to get to the rest of the story. So Australia, you finished high school and then you enrolled into varsity, and then a friend invited you to Paris.
Yes. Yeah.
What was it about Paris that drew you?
Nothing, actually. I was setting myself up to be a forensic doctor, which was going to be 17 years of study. And sort of 6 months into my first year of university, I just thought, I don't know if I can do this for 17 years. And this friend of mine said, look, I'm going on this adventure, why don't you join me? And it just, I don't know, it just sounded great. I didn't have a word of French, I knew nothing about France, but something in me said, no, you've got to do this.
Yeah, and you loved it when you arrived.
Oh, I mean, I got there and it was just, it meant to be.
Wow.
And I picked up the language really quickly. You know, French for me is like my second maternal tongue now.
Oh, wow,
so, yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. And then on the fateful night of the 18th of July, 1999, your life changed forever. Yeah. Can you take us through the events of that day?
Yeah, I was working in Paris because I was actually studying. I decided to abandon forensic medicine and do art instead.
Yay!
Yeah.
Why not?
I was doing external courses at the Fine Arts School in Paris with the intention to enter into a full program. But I was self-funding, so I was working at night time in a bar. And I was on my way home to get a taxi, so just walking down a street that I know really well, and I was intercepted by a man. Who very quickly attempted to kill me. But I fought like crazy. You know, growing up in South Africa, you kind of prepared for violence, so you just go into this mode. And so he didn't manage to he was trying to strangle me, and then he didn't manage to strangle me. And I knew what was going on. I was like, this is not about stealing my money or beating me up or anything. I mean, this is going to be rape.
Yeah.
And he did manage to strangle me, and I lost consciousness, and that's when I thought it was the end of my life. And I came to again, and he was dragging me up an alleyway by my hair. And it was just very violent, extremely violent. The more I fought, the more he fought me. And unfortunately, that night I was brutally raped and almost lost my life.
Wow. Wow. And then subsequently you threw yourself into work and achievement.
Yeah.
And how were you able to move on from that night?
Look,
Did you ever move on, really?
That's a good question. The rape wasn't actually a one-off crime. He'd done it before, so it was a serial crime. There was DNA matching, but the French police weren't able to find him. And I was sort of like, what do I do? I can't stay living in France. I mean, I have to put myself in the same risk every night.
Wow.
And so I decided to return to Australia and sort of reassess what I was going to do with my life. I was only 21. I'd used my own resources in terms of my capacity to survive the rape, because I actually stopped fighting physically and fought with my mind and made a story up to actually sort of get out of the situation. And so I felt quite empowered in a way, and I didn't want to think about it, so I just plunged into my life, really, and went into denial, which is really common for rape survivors. Denial tends to be what happens first. And so for almost 10 years, I had a very interesting life. I mean, I've lived in multiple countries, worked in multiple careers.
And you went on to do great things still.
Yeah, but it was, you know, it was good. I mean, there were a few moments where I had to think about what happened to me, and I came to a grinding halt, but I just didn't let that stop me.
Wow, and then a couple of years later, a call from the Paris police brought you back to the scene of the crime. And what did that feel like, and what were they asking of you?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was 2009, so really about 3 weeks before the 10-year mark.
Yeah.
And I was with my brother, actually, and just sort of chatting to him and saying, you know, I might have to now go and have some therapy, deal with this, shut the book, shut the chapter. And that very day I got an email from the French police saying they were looking for me. And that we spoke on the phone and they said, we think we've caught the guy.
Would you say that that was serendipitously your therapy?
Well, it was what I was thrown into afterwards, yeah.
Wow.
Because it was.
And then it carried on to be this long battle.
Yeah, I went up to Paris. I was up there within 48 hours. I was living in Europe, so I could get to Paris. I ID'd him in a lineup straight away. And then that's when they sort of said to me, are you going to be a civil party? And I'm like, what do you mean? This is criminal.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but you have to be, victims in France have to be civil party in criminal proceedings. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I have to go and get some advice.
Yeah.
And the advice I got was basically, if I didn't, he would potentially walk free. And then I could defend myself, but then I didn't have no legal rights, so I couldn't access documents or anything. So I had to sort of find a lawyer and pay for it out of my own pocket.
Which cost you 500,000 rand?
In the end, yeah.
Which you crowdfunded?
No, not all of it. I used most of my savings. I was saving up to buy a house. So, but you know, I knew that there was a big sign. I mean, catching this guy 2 weeks within the 10-year mark, which in France is the statutory period of limitations, 10 years.
Wow.
So if they'd gotten him 2 weeks out of that, he would have been free. And there was just a couple of things pointing that I needed to do this.
You needed to do this.
I didn't know it was going to be so bad, and it would go on for so long. It took 2.5 years to get to criminal court, and then it actually went on for another 2.5 years where I was involved in the civil proceeding, which became an appeal. And that's when I started to crowdfund, because the expenses were just kept building up. I had to go back to France and go back to court, and then they adjourned the appeal, and they kept adjourning, and it was just sort of it only ended last year in October.
Wow, well done for staying so strong throughout it. But now this year, on the 18th of July, you're going to do something that's going to turn this whole thing on its head.
Yes, exactly.
Please tell us about it.
Yeah. So when I decided to crowdfund, I started sharing my story. I felt there was a need that the world needed to know what was going on in France. You know, we have this assumption that it's just like...
That it's all roses and the grass is green on the other side.
Exactly, and I just thought it's important.
Because it's growing on AstroTurf. Anyway.
And, you know, gobsmacked my French friends, my female French friends, they didn't even know their own country treated them like that if they were a victim of rape. But what happened was, when I started sharing my story, a lot of women started writing to me and sharing their stories. And I had a handful of women that never told anyone. And I was realising that by doing this, I was starting to, like, impact women's lives. And, and I just saw there was this real need to keep talking about rape and sort of somehow shift this taboo. So this is what's starting on the 18th of July.
Yes.
It's a very big project. It's called Project BRA, which stands for Beach Run for Awareness. and I'm going to run beaches in every coastal country of the world to create a dialogue around rape and to change how we talk about rape.
Wow. How many Ks are you running on each beach?
So it's 16 kilometres on each beach. It's a symbolic distance because that's actually how long my story was, 16 years.
Wow.
And I also can't run every beach in every country because I run to the day I die.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And what's the symbolism of running on a beach versus, say, driving or any other thing to do on a beach?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Look, I love adventure, and I just thought, and I love beach running. I found it to be very healing in my own journey. When the appeal process started, I was back in Australia, based in Byron Bay, which is sort of a seaside town, and I just head out and run. And there's actually energy that comes off the ground that we absorb and helps us heal.
When we run?
Yeah, and scientists have actually been recording the results on the body. And I just thought, well, why not use something that's so healing? And then running's empowering, you know.
Is.
Makes you strong. And, you know, I think when you feel stronger, your mind is stronger.
Yes.
And then you feel that you even feel safer on the streets. So, yeah.
Well, we'll be following your journey very closely, and all the best. And I'm going to go for a run after this interview.
Great.
To everything you've shared about running. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. So after the break, we chat more to our inspiring guests, and we put the finishing touches to those raspberry cheesecake cupcakes. Remember, today we're taking your calls on 083 913 3728. If you have any questions or comments for our guests, please feel free. We'll be right back.
A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. So if you've tuned into the show today, you would know that we're making something so delicious in the kitchen today. It's a unique recipe developed by Chiara Turilli. And she's making us a cupcake in the loft with us today. It's got a vanilla base at the bottom, and now we're going to do the topping, which is something so amazing. It is a
marshmallow topping.
Yummy. Which is almost like a meringue in its essence, but not.
Yes, but we put liquid glucose in, and the reason for that is to make it nice and elasticy, like a marshmallow
gooey.
cream.
Yummy, yummy. Okay, so basically what's happened here?
So what we've done here is we've just mixed the egg whites to a soft peak stage, and then we put in... Yeah,
I want to show everyone there. Cool.
Yeah. And then we put cream of tartar in, and cream of tartar is an acid, so it makes the eggs nice and elasticy. And then we've heated up sugar with the glucose and water, boiled it down to soft ball stage, on very high speed. Keep it going, and then pour that syrup in there, and it comes to this consistency.
Right. Well, I saw a few comments on Facebook of people saying that I talk really, really fast. So if you've missed all of that and you want to find all those details, it's on the website, afternoonexpress.co.za. We're not going to explain to you how to do all of those different steps. You can learn that at home. It's pretty simple in the way that you combine it together in a nice mixer. So what's left for us to do?
Okay, so now it's the best part, my best part, the topping.
Yay!
So we're going to assemble the cupcakes.
So what have you got here? What is this for?
So this I've decided to show you because it's one of my favorite tricks. This is just a vase, because I'm alone when I make the cupcakes most of the time, and it's difficult to put stuff in piping bags.
I never would have thought a girl that makes delicious cupcakes would be alone, but it's okay, we understand.
Sometimes.
Yeah. No one's allowed in the kitchen. OCD, we'll take it that way.
100%. So you just put your piping bag into the vase, and you secure it around the edges like that. Just push it down a little bit. Yeah. So you can just hold that.
Sure.
Then...
You want to swap sides, or am I going to scoop?
I'll take this from you.
Okay, cool.
Because this is quite a...
complicated process.
Yeah,
this is the part that a woman needs to do.
So you're going to take your topping and you're just going to put that in there. Now, the important thing is you have to get it to the bottom. Okay. So we're just going to scoop it down there. Get the last bit out the bowl. And
you're going to have to like force it down to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to push it as well, so we'll just do that. Cool. Put that there. So now, this is the best part. Thank you so much for holding it.
Pleasure.
So you just...
Glad I'm useful for something in the kitchen.
I know, it's amazing. Cool. So you're just going to take it, and now you're going to twist the top. And now we're going to push it down. So we're going to push all that air out.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there. And you obviously cut the bottom off, I'm sure. And, and you can choose the size of the chaiki you guys want to make with it at the bottom. So you've chosen quite a big one.
Yes, because we want to get to that size. Okay. So we need it to be quite big. So now we're going to do is we're going to twist it around our finger like this to secure the bag. Twist it twice. And I always like to do...
there it comes. There
I just like to do one tester. Just to make sure
that the consistency is right and all the...
Exactly. Can move that there. So now I'm going to show you This is my signature. Swell, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I like this part, because this is the part I'm terrible at, because everyone makes me try and do this thing where they pipe round and round in circles till it meets at the top, and mine ends up terrible.
So that's a traditional way. Nothing wrong. It's amazing. But I just prefer this because I like the way that the end product looks.
Show me.
So you're going to take it in the middle. You're going to push it down. And as you're pushing, you're going to lift it up to a perfect pitch.
Ta-da! Simple like that. Yay! But how did you get all of this? Like, what is going on there? How did you get yours to look like that?
Okay, so that is the next step.
Oh my gosh, there's so many tricks in this thing.
I want you to try that.
Pipe my own one. Okay,
yes.
cool. So wrap it around my finger.
There we go.
Hold the piping bag. Do this. Smooshy, smooshy, smooshy. Oh, no, no.
Oh my God, you're a natural. Amazing.
I'm taking your business idea, that's all I'm saying. I'm big into Instagram, I'm going to steal your business. Cool.
Okay, so now we've got here some biscuits that we've crushed up. So this is our crust kind of part.
Okay.
And then we're just going to take it in our hand like that. Just make it in
Roll
the middle.
it around, get some crunchy bits.
Yes.
Oh, man. You taught us so many cool tips and tricks today, and then you're basically just going to put a little bit of a raspberry on top, which you've gold dusted.
Oh, yes.
And make it look pretty, and there you have our raspberry, vanilla, you name it.
Raspberry cheesecake cupcake.
Raspberry cheesecake cupcake. And if you want to find this recipe, it's on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Chiara, thanks so much for joining us in the loft and making these delicious treats.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
Oh, it's so cool, guys. Go and find this recipe on our website right now. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express live on SABC3. We've had really riveting and inspiring conversation in the loft today with these amazing women. And we also extended an invitation to you out there to call us if you have any comments or questions for our guests. And we have someone on the line. Memory, hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you doing? Welcome to Afternoon Express.
I'm good. Thank you very much. It's a great honor.
Do you have a question or a comment for one of our guests?
Yes. I just want to tell her that she gives me inspiration right now to tell my story, the one I was holding up for the rest of my life. And she's the best, and she must go on telling people that they must come out if there's any problems. And I was also stuck in a relationship for 2 years and a half that I was not even happy about. So thank you very much for putting it up.
Oh, Memory,
thank you so much, Memory. I think that comment was definitely directed at you, Claire.
Yeah.
Now, Lucinda, I'd like to, earlier on in the interview, how can people get involved and help your organisation?
At the moment, we are doing friends raising, so especially for the shelter. And our friends raising program is we would like to raise 50 friends that would donate 100 Rand per month so that we can assist with the operational cost and getting the things that we need for the organisation.
Exactly. And all of this information will, of course, be on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Go visit, and you have to contribute to this very, very important cause.
Yeah. So we've made these delicious cupcakes, guys, and I thought it was important for us to share these with you because you've got such amazing stories. We've been so brave today. You're welcome to a cheat day, and they are delicious and they're amazing. And you'll never have a cupcake like this before in your lives. So it is uniquely made for us in Afternoon Express by Chiara Turilli. So by all means, tuck in.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for coming on the show today and being so brave to share all of your stories. Yeah. It really was incredibly, incredibly inspiring. Thank you. And to everybody at home, we're going to be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Until then, good night and happy eating. Ciao.
Ciao. Go for it with the cupcakes.
I have to offer you a cupcake.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.